of May 10th, 2021. I call the Township of Aleppo Workshop Meeting of May 10th, 2021 to order at 7 o'clock. Roll call, please.
President Jones,
Present.
Vice President Williams is unable to attend. Commissioner Dara,
Present.
Commissioner Haluka,
Present.
Commissioner Richard, don't see her yet, and Solicitor Stone.
Here.
Harlan, would you restate the announcement of the recording and remote meeting protocol?
Yes, tonight we continue to operate under the COVID authorized procedures provided for in Act 15, which allows us to conduct our meetings according or with a authorized telecommunications device, which Zoom is, and we use Zoom, of course. And so we are complying with Act 15 and with the use of an authorized telecommunication device.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve the April 19th legislative meeting minutes?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Got it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I'm going to skip here on the agenda since we have an honored guest. Tim, would you like to discuss the new aluminum truck bed?
Yes, so you know, we replaced one about 3 years ago on the older dump, and now the bed on the 2012 dump it's just rotting away, and we can't stop it. I don't know how long it'll last, tell you the truth. The cab roll on it is ready to fall off in places, so I talked to George about it and got some pricing done on putting a new aluminum bed on it, which is basically the exact same thing we did to the old truck. The bid is $17,615. It's from the same company that did the other one. And I'm proposing that to the commissioners that we do that.
And the anticipated extension of life for the truck is?
The 2012, we're going to have probably another, I believe it's 6 years. The schedule's a little bit goofy right now because when we bought the backhoe, that jumped trucks around, and then we had to replace the pickup truck. So right now, the next one to be replaced will be the 2007 dump, but I'm thinking that that's going to last at least another 2 to 3 years. The 2012 should last us at least 6 years, if not more.
And Gwen, if we expend this $18,000 and extend the life of the truck and therefore reduce the need for a new truck, will our reserves still be adequate?
They will. They'll be adequate now, and then they'll be adequate. We'll have time to continue to build them for the next purchase.
Any questions for Tim or me or Gwen? Hello, Amy. Hello,
Hi.
Amy.
Sorry.
Commissioner Richard is now present. Does anybody else have any discussion about extending the life of the truck with the purchase of an aluminum truck bed?
Tim, are you satisfied with what life was gotten out of the 2007 replacement?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Let me turn
My question is, are you satisfied with what we got out of the 2007 replacement?
Oh yes, we've been checking it every year, and we have no corrosion or anything on it so far. And it's gone through 3 winters now, and as you know, last winter was a pretty good winter.
Thank you.
Amy, we are, in case you missed, we're discussing the purchase of an aluminum truck bed to extend the life of one of our dump trucks. And it would not interfere with the schedule on our truck reserve. So the money's in the bank. The reserves would still be on schedule. And the prior addition of the aluminum bed worked well. Any further discussion?
I'll put it on the agenda for next week.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim.
No problem. Thank you.
You can
Thanks,
stay or leave however you'd like.
Okay.
Police contract renewal ordinance.
This is the renewal of the police, the contract that we have with Ohio Township. You got the contract last month. What you have in your packet now is the ordinance that is the vehicle by which this contract is adopted. And it has been advertised to be on the agenda for next week's legislative meeting, and it would extend the contract with Ohio Township for 3 more years.
Does anybody have any questions? We discussed this pretty thoroughly last session. Harlan, you've said that it's basically the same contract, just with a price increase.
I reviewed it and I think, I don't have it in front of me now, but I think it is that is correct.
Dan, did you have an opportunity to review it?
Pricing part of it. I reviewed some of the text that looked pretty boilerplate to me, quite frankly.
George, I did look at it originally and I did think it was the same contract, just with a difference in price.
Yeah, Gwen was told that by Ohio Township, number one. Number two, I think you gave me the old contract and I compared it and looked identical to me, with just some pretty reasonable price increases. It was basically inflation increases. So we're voting on this next week, Gwen?
Yes.
So if anybody has any other questions about it, just talk to Gwen.
And just one of the comments we received was that from viewers like to hear the dollar amount of things. So I'll say that the proposed first year price of the contract will be $110,490.
As
But
opposed,
that'll be in the motion next week,
in comparison to this year?
which is, I don't have that in front of me, but I'm guessing it's about 107 to 8 as the
Right.
base. Yeah.
Any further discussion? The road weight limit study, which I think Harlan was in your ballpark.
Right. George, you had asked me to look at it, review it, and I think you wanted to know if the proposed study that HRG was suggesting would in fact comply and make it PennDOT compliant. And I did look at that. I can tell you 2 things. One, the HRG proposal is to provide you with a PennDOT approved study, which is necessary in order to do the road bonding and maintenance. Now, the second question which came up was, and it's related, does the performance of the core sampling, which is part of the proposal, bolster the enforceability, so to speak, of the ordinance when you pass it? And the answer to that is that the PennDOT study itself contemplates that you will make a determination as to the existing condition of the roads before you adopt the ordinance. The reason for that is that the tonnage that is allowed will be the setting of the tonnage, or the weight limit, will be dependent upon the current condition of the road. So the core sampling seems to me is an essential part of the study.
And Gwen, do you have the 2 proposals in front of you, the variance in price?
Yes. Hold that thought. Yes, the current one, or the one with the core samples, this is $8,995, and the one without is $6,895. So it's about $2,000 difference to get the core sampling done. That tells you, it gives you more information about what the base of the road is, not
Tim,
just a visual inspection.
Tim, do you have any knowledge of these studies and the enforcement of weight limits?
Not offhand, but I will say that we definitely should have the core sampling done, because I've noticed that several places where we've done excavating on some of the roads, we've found that bases aren't proper.
So that's a recommendation for the core samples.
Yes, I would definitely go with them.
Okay, are we voting on this week, Gwen, or?
No, I'll put it on for next week, just kind of normal procedure. I'll put it on the agenda for next week.
Any other questions before we do that next week? Well, thank you, Harlan and Tim. Do we have any citizens participating, Gwen?
I do not. No emails.
Do we have any additional new business?
I have a question just for an update. I noticed the other day they were pulling samples up from, are they, I don't know what they are that are buried over on Rhodes Avenue. What's going on over there? We were talking about it in the fall that it was going to be done in the spring. Is this the spring? Is that what they're doing?
It is the spring. Yes, we met over there on, I think it was Friday, and discussed it, and they will be pulling some of the final readings in about probably a month. They said they wanted to get through the rainy season and kind of get some more information through this rainy part, and then we'll get a final geotech report on what's happening on Rhodes Avenue. And then once we get that report, then it'll come back for everyone to discuss.
Okay, I had that question from a citizen that was curious what they were doing over there, so I wanted to bring it up.
Tim, do you want to give a quick summary of your site viewings of what's happening at the road?
Well, they drilled 3 test holes and put a plastic pipe in, and what they do, they drop a machine down in there, and it gives them an idea of how much movement we're getting. Now, the one further out, actually pretty close to Amy's house, that one apparently isn't really doing anything. There's been very minor movement on that, but the 2 that are down where we actually dug up the road and put a French drain in, those ones are moving. Now, how much, I don't know. Last time Gwen had any idea, I think they said it was 3 inches. It's definitely moving though. And we're going to end up having to do something about it. I don't know. Hopefully it won't be for a long time.
The patch repair that we did to just buy ourselves time while we were doing these getting these readings is already cracked. You know, it's already starting. You can see where you can tell there's definite movement.
Oh yeah, it's been moving.
Any other questions regarding Rhodes Avenue? So it's in process, Judy. I think the engineer said more than likely the readings will be taken by the end of the month.
Thank you, George.
Any other new business? Mr. Solicitor, anything on your agenda?
Not tonight.
Okey doke. So therefore, oh, sorry, Dan.
Do we have anything back from Sewickley with regard to the sewer rates?
No update. I have no update on that.
Any other new business? Therefore, meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.